When the groom pulled me aside and said, "Delete everything you just shot," I thought he was joking. Then I saw the woman crying in the parking lot. She was sitting on a bench near the overflow lot, mascara ruined, shoulders shaking. I'd noticed her earlier, back row during the ceremony, staring at the groom with something darker than sadness. I'd taken photos of her without thinking. Standard crowd shots. Now I understood why she'd been staring. "You're the photographer?" she asked when I approached. "Yeah. Did you get any pictures of me?" "A few." "Why?" She laughed. "Bitter. Broken. Delete them. Trust me, you don't want to be involved." "Involved in what?" She wiped her eyes. "That man in there. David. He's my husband. I've been a wedding photographer for 8 years. Hundreds of weddings. Maybe 400 by now if I'm counting the smaller ceremonies and destination shoots. I've seen nervous grooms who could barely speak their vows, drunk uncles who hit on bridesmaids, crying mothers who needed tissues in every pocket, flower girls who threw tantrums, ring bearers who picked their noses at the altar. Nothing surprises me anymore, or so I thought. The groom's name was David. Handsome, charming, the kind of guy who made everyone around him feel comfortable. He'd shaken my hand when I arrived, offered me a bottle of water, made small talk about the weather and the venue. "Beautiful location," I'd said. "Emily's dream spot. I'd do anything for her." The bride, Emily, looked at him like he was her whole world. 27 years old, dark hair, radiant smile. She'd chosen me after seeing my portfolio online, paid the deposit 6 months in advance, sent me detailed Pinterest boards of the shots she wanted. This was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. The ceremony was beautiful. Outdoor venue, string lights in the trees, a string quartet playing as Emily walked down the aisle on her father's arm. I moved through the crowd, capturing reactions. The groom's face as he saw his bride, the mother of the bride dabbing her eyes, the flower girl, surprisingly well-behaved, tossing petals, standard stuff. Then I noticed her. A woman in the back row, maybe 32, 33, brown hair, understated dress, not smiling. She was staring at David with an expression I couldn't name. Not sadness exactly, something darker. I zoomed in, took a few shots. Force of habit, you never know what moments will matter later. The woman's jaw was tight. Her eyes were wet. I moved on, focused on the ceremony, captured the vows, the rings, the kiss. Everyone applauded. David and Emily walked back down the aisle together, beaming. The woman in the back row didn't clap. After the ceremony, I stepped outside to change my memory card. The reception wouldn't start for another 30 minutes. Cocktail hour first, then introductions, then dinner. I had time. That's when I saw her. The woman from the back row, sitting on a bench near the parking lot, crying. I walked over. "Hey, are you okay?" She looked up. Mascara streaked down her cheeks, eyes red and swollen. "You're the photographer?" "Yeah. Did you get any pictures of me?" "A few." "Why?" She laughed bitterly. "Delete them. Trust me, you don't want to be involved." "Involved in what?" She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. "That man in there, David. He's my husband." My stomach dropped. "What?" "We've been married for 4 years. We have 2 kids." I stared at her. "Are you serious?" "He told me he was going on a business trip this weekend. Miami. Sales conference." She held up her phone, showed me a text thread. "See? Business trip." I looked at the messages. "Miss you already. Work dinner running late. Call you when I get back to hotel. Love you and the kids. Sent yesterday. Sent this morning." "His sister accidentally sent me the wedding invitation," she continued. "Wrong address list. I got it 3 weeks ago. I didn't believe it at first. Thought it must be a mistake. But you came anyway. I drove 6 hours to see it for myself." Her voice cracked. I had to know. Inside the reception hall, music started playing. The first dance was about to begin. "Does Emily know?" I asked. "Of course not. She thinks she's marrying the love of her life. We have to tell her." The woman, I still didn't know her name, shook her head. I tried. During the cocktail hour, David's groomsman, Marcus, his best man, stopped me at the door. What did he say? That I needed to leave, that I was making a scene, that if I caused any problems, they'd have security remove me. They know? Some of them. The groomsmen. Maybe David's parents. They're covering for him. I looked at my camera. Hundreds of photos. The ceremony. The crowd. This woman crying in the back row. All of it time-stamped. All of it backed up to the cloud. "I have proof," I whispered. "I have photos of you here. Time-stamped? Location stamped?" Her eyes widened. "Can you show them to Emily? If I can get her alone?" I walked back inside. The first dance had started. David and Emily swaying in the center of the room. Everyone watching. Everyone smiling. I circled the dance floor pretending to take photos. My heart was pounding. My hands were steady. 8 years of experience will do that. But my mind was racing. What was the right thing to do? Walk away? This wasn't my business. I was here to take photos, get paid, go home. But Emily was about to marry a man who was already married. She was about to sign a marriage certificate that wouldn't even be legal. She was about to build a life on a foundation of lies. When the song ended, I approached Emily. "Beautiful ceremony," I said. "Can I steal you for 2 minutes? I want to get some solo bridal shots outside while the light is good." Emily smiled. "Of course." We walked toward the side door. That's when David appeared. "Where are you going?" His voice was sharp. Not the charming man I'd met earlier. "Just some photos," Emily said. "I'll be right back." "No." Emily frowned. "David, it's fine." I said no. The room went quiet. People were staring. The music kept playing, but no one was dancing anymore. Emily's face changed. "What's wrong with you?" I pulled out my camera, scrolled to to the photos of the woman outside. Emily, there's something you need to see. David grabbed for my camera. Give me that. I stepped back. It's backed up to the cloud. You can smash it. Won't matter. Emily looked at the screen, saw the woman crying, saw the timestamp from 30 minutes ago. Who is that? I took a breath. Your husband's wife. Silence. Complete, devastating silence. David's face went white. She's lying. His voice cracked. I don't know that woman. She drove 6 hours, I said. She has your marriage certificate. Photos of your kids. Emily's hands were shaking. David? He couldn't speak. The woman from the parking lot walked through the side door. She was holding a folder. Manila. Thick with documents. Emily, I'm so sorry. She walked toward us. The crowd parted like the Red Sea. I didn't want you to find out like this. She handed Emily the folder. Emily opened it with trembling hands. I watched her face as she looked at the documents. Marriage license, state of Ohio, David Michael Patterson and Rachel Ann Mitchell, dated 4 years ago, birth certificates, 2 children, Michael, age 3, Sophie, age 1, photos, David holding a baby, David at a birthday party with a toddler on his lap, David standing next to the woman from the parking lot, arm around her waist, both of them smiling. A family, a whole other family. Emily looked up at David, tears streaming down her face. 4 years, 2 kids. Baby, I can explain. She slapped him. Hard. The sound echoed through the reception hall. Then she pulled off her engagement ring. The one David had proposed with, the one she'd shown off to her friends, the one she'd admired in the mirror for 6 months, and threw it at his chest. Get out, David tried to argue. Emily, please, just let me. 2 of Emily's brothers stepped forward. Big guys, former football players, judging by their build. They grabbed David by the arms and started dragging him toward the door. You heard her, the older one said. Get out. Marcus, the best man, the one who'd tried to stop Rachel earlier, stepped forward. Wait, you can't just... The younger brother pointed at him. You knew? Marcus's face said everything. Get out too. I stood with Emily as she cried. The reception hall had emptied of David's side of the family. His parents had left, faces red with shame. His groomsmen had scattered. What remained was Emily's family, her friends, the bridesmaids who surrounded her like a protective wall, and Rachel, David's first wife, standing beside us. I'm so sorry, she kept saying. I'm so sorry. Emily shook her head. You saved me, both of you. The reception turned into something else that night. Not a wedding celebration, something closer to a wake. Emily's family surrounded her. Her mother held her while she cried. Her father made phone calls, canceling the honeymoon, contacting the venue, starting the process of undoing everything. Rachel shared her story, how she'd met David 8 years ago, how they'd gotten married when she was 24, how she'd stayed home to raise their children while he worked, or said he was working. I should have known, she said. He traveled so much, said it was for work, sales conferences, client meetings, always gone on weekends. How did you find out about this wedding? Emily's maid of honor asked. His sister sent the invitation by accident. Wrong email list. I think she meant to send it to someone else named Rachel. Does his family know about both marriages? Some of them, not all. Rachel looked down. I think they were trying to protect him, or maybe they were just in denial. I documented everything. Not the photos I'd been hired to take, not the first dance, the cake cutting, the bouquet toss. Something more important. Photos of Emily with her family. Photos of Rachel showing her documents. Photos of 2 women who'd been deceived by the same man, now sitting together, processing the truth. The most important photos of my career. Not of a wedding, of a woman learning the truth in time to save herself. I stayed until 11 p.m., helped pack up the decorations, made sure Emily had my card. I'll send you everything, I said. Whatever you need for legal purposes. Emily nodded. Thank you for everything. I just pointed a camera at the truth. The legal aftermath was complicated. I gave a statement to Detective Sarah Okonkwo, 12 years with the Fraud Division, 2 weeks after the wedding. David Patterson is being investigated for bigamy, she explained. His marriage to Emily would have been invalid, but he would have obtained marriage benefits, tax benefits, potentially inheritance rights. What happens now? We're building a case. Your photos are evidence. Time-stamped, location-stamped, exactly what we need. Emily's lawyer was a woman named Patricia Chen, 15 years specializing in family law. The annulment should be straightforward, she told Emily during a meeting I was invited to attend. The marriage was never legal. More importantly, we're pursuing fraud charges. What about Rachel? She has grounds for divorce. Given the circumstances, the deception, the financial fraud, the emotional abuse, she should receive favorable terms in the settlement. Will he go to jail? Patricia paused. Bigamy is a misdemeanor in most states, but combined with fraud, tax evasion, and the other charges we're exploring, yes, he could face significant consequences. 3 months later, Emily called me. I wanted to thank you again. You don't have to thank me. You saw something wrong and you did something about it. Not everyone would. I thought about how close I'd come to walking away, how easy it would have been to ignore the woman in the parking lot, change my my memory card. Go back inside. How are you doing? Better. Therapy helps. My family has been amazing. She paused. Rachel and I actually talk now, regularly. She's dealing with the same trauma, just from a different angle. And David? Facing charges. His company fired him once the story came out. His family is pretending he doesn't exist. Good. The trial is next month. Both of us are testifying. The trial was brutal. I wasn't there, but Emily told me about it afterward. David's defense tried to paint both women as hysterical, unstable, jealous. Tried to minimize the deception as a personal matter that had been blown out of proportion. The prosecution had the marriage certificates, the photos, the text messages, the financial records showing David had been supporting 2 households for 4 years while hiding both from each other. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. Bigamy, fraud, tax evasion, 3 years in state prison. Emily called me after the verdict. It's over. How do you feel? Relieved, angry, sad? She laughed softly. All of it. That makes sense. I almost married a monster, she said. You gave me my life back. I just pointed a camera at the truth. That was enough. I still have the photos from that wedding. Not the official ones. The ceremony, the decorations, the posed shots of a couple that never should have been. The other ones. Rachel crying in the parking lot. Emily's face when she saw the documents. 2 women standing together processing the same betrayal. I've photographed a lot of weddings since then. Happy couples, nervous grooms, crying mothers. But every time I shoot a crowd, I scan the faces, looking for the ones who aren't smiling, looking for the expressions that don't match, looking for the truth hiding in plain sight. Some photographers capture moments. I captured a crime. And because I did, 2 women were saved from a man who thought he could deceive them forever. David thought he was untouchable, thought he could have 2 wives, 2 families, 2 lives, thought nobody would ever find out. He was wrong. All it took was 1 accidental email, 1 woman brave enough to drive 6 hours, 1 photographer who asked the right questions. I just pointed a camera at the truth. Sometimes that's enough. Emily got married again last year. Different groom, different venue, different photographer. She sent me an invitation. Thought you should know. This time it's real. I smiled when I read it, sent her flowers. Some truths save people. Some cameras capture more than just images. Some weddings end before they begin, and some monsters get exactly what they deserve.